Alright, question time. Hello everybody and welcome to my first Q&A video, and I'd like to start off today's video with a huge shout out to Kay over at mk.dsgn for designing my new Z Productions logo. He's a freelance graphic designer specializing in logo design, so if you need a logo professionally designed, definitely check him out. He's based off Instagram at mk.dsgn. I'll link his profile in the description below. Definitely check him out. Thank you so much, Kay. Anyway, on to our questions. I asked you all to leave me questions on the comment section in YouTube, on Facebook, and also on Instagram, and the response was pretty good. I'm sorry if I can't answer every single one of your questions. If not, this would be a pretty long video. I'll try to answer them in the next video if I don't cover them in this video. So let's begin with the comments on YouTube. Tudor Barbu asked, I liked the video, but why was recommended? Did you do some tricky tricks? No, I did not do some tricky tricks. It was just Google violating your privacy. Aaron Austria asks, how can a beginner improve his or her photography skills? That is a fantastic question. I believe it's finding a balance between theory and practical. Many beginners focus too much on theory and rarely shoot anything. So definitely get out there and shoot something. And pay attention not just to composition, but also lighting. Lighting is very important when it comes to taking pictures. But don't focus 100% on the technical aspects. Pay attention to the creative aspects as well. YTAMA asks, if you could buy any camera, which one would you buy? Probably the 1DX Mark II. Not sure if it'll fit in my bag though. Mr. Squid Cookie, lovely name. How and when did you get into photography? Well, I got into photography when I was about probably 8. It was not serious photography. I would take my dad's camera phone and start shooting pictures with it, and from a camera phone I eventually journeyed into digital point and shoots. And then I got my first DSLR when I was about 13. Sorry, no, it was 15 in high school. It was a Canon 550D with the 18-55 kit lens. Asian Love Potato, what are the most basic skills of photography other than being familiar with ISO aperture and shutter speed? Composition. Matt Groves, why was this in my recommendations? You might want to save that question for YouTube. WLG, your voice is silky smooth, like the mayonnaise I'm rubbing all over my 341 body. Okay. PQH, do you have any tips for a person who is beginner at photography and making videos on YouTube, and what software do you usually use and recommend for video and photo editing? Now the first part of that question I've already answered in probably my second question just now. And for video editing I use Adobe Premiere, and for photo editing I use Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop. Simple asks, how did you get into photography? Already answered that. What would you suggest for somebody who would like to get into it? I love taking pictures and my phone has a 4K camera, but I don't know if there's any camera worth getting that is less than $200 if my phone can already do 4K. Now in my opinion, the resolution is just a number, but however, like Chase Jarvis said, the best camera is the one you have with you. So definitely use whatever camera you have to shoot photos out there. But if you're ready to step it up, you can definitely consider buying a DSLR or a mirrorless or even one of the bridge cameras. Alright, Facebook comments. Alright, Facebook questions. The first question is by Joel Lee. How old are you and which country are you from? Now, Joel is a friend of mine and he does know the answer to that question damn well. But for the sake of it, I am from Malaysia. And how old am I? This is for Joel, not as old as you. Ahmed asks, I'd love to know your opinion on Micro Four Thirds, APS-C, full frame, and medium format. Now, I personally don't quite like Micro Four Thirds, mainly because of the crop factor, but Micro Four Thirds can produce great images as well. I'm just not a fan of the crop factor. APS-C, that's where I started, and that's probably what the majority of people use. Full frame is definitely a step up from APS-C. I love full frame, but I don't hate APS-C either. But full frame does give you a completely different look. And medium format. I've never shot on medium format before, but so far my impressions on medium format are 1, great bokeh, number 2, amazing image quality, 3, bloody expensive. Pang asks, have you used Xiaomi Mi 5 before? What do you think about it? I have. In fact, it is my primary phone right now. I am using the Xiaomi Mi 5. What do I think about it? I like it. It's good. It's definitely enough for my use, but like every other phone, it becomes obsolete in the market after like 3 months, and then some new epic phone just comes out and trumps it over. The cell phone market is moving way too fast. He also asks, what kind of training have you had to be able to speak like you do? How do you acquire the accent you have? Now, I did not go for any training, but I did spend a little over a year at a British international school, so that's probably where I picked up my accent, and that probably also explains the semi-Asian accent I have. Nick Erickson, what is your opinion on the rise of the mirrorless cameras? Very good question. Now, Mirrorless cameras and DSLRs, the main discerning factor is of course the mirror mechanism. So what sets them apart would mainly be form factor and also the autofocus system. Personally, mirrorless is awesome, however I think the DSLRs will still hold their place in the market, especially for photographers, mainly because of the optical viewfinder and the autofocus system when it comes to tracking moving subjects. But what I think is they will come close to DSLRs, but they will not completely knock DSLRs out of the market. But form factor on mirrorless cameras for me is not such a big deal because they simply cannot cut down on the physical size of the lenses. So at the end of the day, if you say you want to use a f2.8 zoom, you're still going to be stuck with a huge lens. Tiago asks, do you curse? Oh shit, you just had to ask, didn't you? Editing software and export settings, Adobe Premiere CC, H.264, 5 megabits per second for YouTube. Moving on to Instagram, not a lot of comments on Instagram. Tien San asks, what are the best all-round budget lenses? Thanks. Tough one, depends on your definition of budget, but personally, if I were to make the choice, I would go with a second-hand 24-105 for full frame, or if I'm on crop, I'd go for a second-hand 17-55 f2.8. 1TR401 asks, do you like film? Yes, I do. I'm actually studying film right now. I'm a film student, so yes, I love film. So that's it for today's Q&A video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Keep the questions coming. If I do get enough questions, I might consider making another Q&A video. So that's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.